Did I scare you? Probably not. Hey kiddos, welcome back to my YouTube channel and to episode 12 of the podcast, Think You Like a Taurus, the podcast where we scare each other with ghost face masks. Look at him, he's just vibing there. I'm even on theme, I have like ghost earrings on, they're fun. I like these a lot, they're so cute and dangly. As I promised in the last episode of this podcast, I said that this episode was going to be themed around ghosts, and I meant it because actually a lot of stuff involving ghosts has happened recently, so it kind of made for more content in this one particular episode. I got several announcements at the end of this video, but for right now we're going to go ahead and update y'all on what's been happening in our weekly update. This has actually been one of the most chill weeks recently, and I feel like I'm wrong saying that even though it's been my week. I don't know, it feels like I'm wrong. The vlog that came out last week, I know it came out a couple hours later, but that's because I was having so much trouble with the files. Fun fact, if you use an Apple iPhone as a camera, getting the files from one place to another is a bit tricky, but once you find some loopholes, you just have to rely on it. I definitely had to find like a plan F with this last video, but I hope you guys enjoyed that video as much as I did. I love filming with my friends, it's definitely a lot of fun, and it was very worth it because we got one hell of a video, that's for sure. I also went hiking again. My friend Antonio, this one right here that was in the vlog, texted me and goes, you want to go hiking on this random trail? And I'm like, well, for one, that is a serial killer situation. Is this where I get, like, hunted down as the stereotypical girl in a horror movie? No, it was actually very fun. We went hiking, it was gorgeous, and we treated it as kind of like a vent session. We just told each other the drama that's been going on over our past few weeks. It was pretty good, actually, and very helpful for the mind. I climbed this awesome-looking rock, and I got this beautiful shot of the horizon, but honestly, it was absolutely gorgeous, and I am definitely going to be going back again. Like I said in my first vlog, I would highly recommend you guys go hiking, because honestly, it is so good. Like, it's good brain food. I think it's definitely very, very helpful, and especially if you go with somebody else. I'd recommend you go with somebody else anyways. You go with someone that you're close to and you can talk to for hours. You guys go on a hike together, you will never stop talking. But honestly, there really isn't too much to talk about for this past week unless I'm forgetting something, which I probably am. Just been working, school, editing, and doing stuff. Today has been one of the most relaxing days ever, and I don't know why. I feel like something's gonna happen to just crash down on me. I've just been binge watching Supernatural and doing work, and honestly, it is a vibe. Supernatural's on theme. We're talking about ghosts, and they deal with ghosts and other things, so it's on theme, it's on brand. Now, of course, this would not be a Thinking Like a Taurus episode without telling you a TikTok of the day. This TikTok of the day, my friend actually sent to me. Again, Antonio, thank you very much for sending me this TikTok because that was awesome. This was really cool and I really want to play this game with my friends, but basically it is a horror movie themed hide and seek like slideshow where it tells you all the different types of horror movies and how the hide and seek would work. And of course, me with my little obsession with Scream, just a tad, this one had a ghost face themed hide and seek, and I'm going to tell you the rules because it does have copyrighted music, so I'm going to show you the slides and I'll read it to you. The handle for all of the different horror movie character hide and seeks is at BlizzardHeart12, and I will tag them in the description because they have a YouTube channel. This is amazing, and I so want to play this game. Okay, so Ghostface themed hide and seek tag. I'm reading it on my phone right now, which is also Scream themed. In this game, hiders must remain on the phone with the seeker the entire time. No silence is allowed. If there are multiple players, a group call will work. The seeker starts outside and the hider starts inside. But once the game starts, they can go wherever. If there are 4+ players, the seeker can secretly make an alliance with one hider because there's always 2. The hider can disclose information to Ghostface, though it'll be tricky since everyone is on the same call, so you gotta be sneaky. If a hider is caught spying for Ghostface, they're kicked from the hider group and become another Ghostface or Seeker. If someone is falsely accused and kicked, they leave the call and must continue as a hider, but they can no longer interact or share hiding places with other hiders. That can actually benefit them, since Ghostface will no longer hear their voice. This thing sounds awesome. Especially because, I would want to be the Seeker first. I would absolutely want to be the Seeker first. Are you kidding? I would wear the mask. I'd bring my little fake prop. Are you kidding? That sounds awesome. So at BlizzardHeart12, thank you for the idea for the hide and seek. That is freaking amazing. And make sure to go check them out. And go check out all of their hide and seeks, because wow, those are freaking cool. Anyway, one of the things that I definitely should be talking about is actually a part of this brand new segment that I'm going to be introducing. Yes, we have another new segment that I actually just created, so yeah. This new segment is going to be called Headline. Headline is going to be used for story times and big time news and things like that involve my life. I know that's mainly what this podcast is for, but headline is to narrow down on story times. Yes, now it can be separated from chat room. Just a story that I want to tell, and chat room's going to remain like a questionnaire Q&A type of thing, now that I have an actual segment for story times. Anyway, this story time is actually, of course, involving ghosts, and it's going to be because my friends and I went ghost hunting a little while ago, and it was actually awesome. It wasn't the first time that I went ghost hunting, because I've gone a couple times, but it was the first time where we actually, really got a lot of activity. As you guys know, I do have a spirit box, and I have used it before, and we used it at this moment, but I also have something else. I have an Ouija board. But the only thing is, since recently, I never ever used it. Ever. I kept it on a shelf, and I put the planchette directly on the number 5. So that way I would know if it moved. It was always above the number 5. I did catch it move one time. I didn't watch it move, but I saw it move from the 5 to the 7, and that's a good distance, so it has moved before. And so we brought it to go ghost hunting, because my friend asked if they could borrow it, and I said sure. The first time we went ghost hunting, it was me and 3 other friends, so we had a big group. Always, safety in numbers, guys, that's definitely recommended. I wouldn't recommend going ghost hunting by yourself. It's not the best idea. But we definitely had some scares and got my heart, pumping. So we met up at one point, and we started using the spirit box in the area that we were at. It was this park. We just found this park and went there. And we used the spirit box. We got very little activity. And as we kept walking around, we found this patch of grass that is in a circle formation. And that was really cool. And as we were walking up, it was right next to this building. It might have been an office building. I don't know. Right next to this building, I could see through the window, and I saw a really creepy looking figure. Straight up, shoulders and a head in the window. And I panicked. And I yelled for my friends. They all looked in the window and were like, what is that? And we stared at this thing for a solid 2 minutes. Count to 60 twice. That's how long we stared at this thing. Eventually, one of my friends went up to it, and we found out that it was just a Pepsi machine. It was a Pepsi vending machine, but it had a bottle of Pepsi picture on the side of it, and it looked like a person through the window, and we just had a heart attack. It was terrifying. But let me tell you, that window definitely has, some events going on, and I'll explain that in a minute. But this was before it got dark. We did stay out after dark, and we stayed out, pretty late. But it was freaking terrifying. We kind of ran around. We did hear a ton of noises, actually. We heard chains rattling, and we thought we heard footsteps and stuff. We definitely heard quite a bit. We used the spirit box very little because actually I was stupid and the batteries died literally at the beginning. So we all ended up getting this app on our phones that we now use. It has an EMF meter, an EVP recorder. It has 2 EMF meters. It has a motion detector, and then it has this one thing where it does all of it at the same time. So we used this app, and we use the EMF meter all around this random park. And then at one point we sat in like the circle thing that I mentioned before, and we pulled out the Ouija board. My friends were about to touch it, and when I had this weird instinct to turn around, and so I did. I turned around, I looked behind me, and there was a guy pacing around the tree across the street. There was like a bunch of trees. There was a slightly wooded area. There was a guy pacing around the tree, just round and round and round and round and round for at least 7 minutes, if I were to take a guess. And it freaked us all the hell out. I was like, guys, there's a man. Now, honestly, I was so paranoid that I was waiting for this guy to just beeline it straight for us. He was just going to stop and run. But he didn't. We just kept watching him, wondering what was going on. We could have sworn like he started to disappear in front of the tree. It was wild, but it scared us so bad. It scared me so bad. My friends were watching him a little nervous. I was terrified. This was because the first time I ever got like really, really intense activity. So we kind of moved on. We were about to use the Ouija board, but then we saw this car slowly pull up next to him across the street, and he got in the car. So we're like, okay, he got picked up. Starts to drive, and then turns around into a like parking section right next to where we were at. And we thought that he saw us and was going to come chase us down or something. So we all packed up our stuff and ran. We ran into this wooded area, which again, not really good survival instincts, but hey, which would you prefer? The woods or a random guy you just saw pacing around the trees? We chose the woods. We got some intense stuff going on. At one point, my phone was running low on battery, and we were using it as an EMF meter because my dumb self didn't charge it before we left. So my friend had a portable charger, right? So we tried to turn it on. We kept trying to turn on the portable charger, but it wasn't working. Finally, after like 10 minutes of holding down the power button, it finally turned on, and we're like, cool, let's plug it in. So we plugged my phone in, and this thing went insane. My phone freaked out. This was so scary. I wish I caught it on camera. Okay, you know what? I have a clip to compare it to. There's a clip in one of Sam and Colby's videos when they went to the Biltmore Hotel in the presidential suite. When they went there and Colby plugged in his phone, it was rapidly going in and out of charging. It was making a buzzing sound, something like that. And it was a brand new charger. I'll put it, okay, here's the clip of that.
Yeah. I just plugged in my phone. It's never done this before.
This is your new charger, right?
Yeah, brand new. Like, you think it could be the outlet? Have you ever seen a phone do that before? I've literally like...
On both plugs. Both plugs, all the way in.
Also, when I came in here, I had 20%, and now I'm at 1.
You weren't even using your phone.
That's what I mean. I like, it like sucked the energy out of it or something. Like, what's going on right now?
Bro, your phone's about to explode.
Yeah, it's freaking out.
That exact thing happened to my phone when we plugged it into the portable charger. And it freaked me out. But I couldn't touch it. Not because it was like electricity, like something like that. No. I kept trying to tap it and it would not work. It would not work. So we unplugged it and it was still doing it. It was still going in and out of charging, even though it was unplugged. I kept trying to restart it, but it wouldn't let me hold down the button and press it in time. So I waited out a little bit, and then it eventually just crashed. It shut off, and it turned itself back on. So it restarted. Then I could use it again. Then my friend goes, you want to try plugging it in now? And I'm like, no, my phone almost exploded on that thing. I am not going to plug it back in. So I witnessed my phone have a freaking heart attack, and that was terrifying. So yeah, that same thing that happened to Colby in the Millennium Biltmore Hotel Presidential Suite, that exact same thing happened to my phone. I can't explain it, and my phone hasn't had any problems since, knock on wood. So remember that app that I mentioned before? We're actually going to be explaining everything about the app in another installment of On the Record. Just a little reminder, On the Record is basically talking about all kinds of equipment, whether that be filming equipment, podcast equipment, and now ghost equipment. I saw this app and it's called Ultimate Ghost Detector Real. And it's $2.99. And listen, because they put the word real at the end, I kind of thought it was baloney. I was like, you put real at the very end. And it costs money, but it $3. We read the information and like the reviews and everything, and people said it worked. So we gave it a shot, and we actually got results out of it. This is what like the home base of it looks like. I know the word ghost is flashing. I don't know why it does that. But if I go to EMF Advanced, you see how it's like bouncing? If I put it directly on my laptop, it would actually drop. There we go, see? See? That beeping was because the magnetic thing in it like caught the electronicness, whatever that word is. I don't know how to word this. The electromagnetic frequency coming from my laptop. So if I take the phone, place it, see? So it actually works. It does actually work. So you can see the number. It's at like 45, 46, and you're looking at it right now. If I take my watch and put it right on top, see? Spikes because of my watch. So that's how you know. It does have electromagnetic frequencies in it, and it's really interesting. And then it also has an EVP recorder. This EVP recorder is you hit record and you ask a question, and then you wait like 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds of silence. So you hit record, you ask a question, wait 10 to 15 seconds, and then you can ask another question. And then once you're done, you hit stop recording, and then you listen back to it. And sometimes you can hear voices, and we actually did. And then it also has a motion detector. This one's really loud, so hold on. If I were to set it down on my table and hit motion detector, see how it's shaking a little bit? The number's kind of going up and down and up and down and up and down. That's because my laptop fan is running and shaking the table. But if I were to go like this, it buzzed. So yeah, that is the motion detector. And if you replace it flat on the ground and then it just bzzz, then you know something touched it. It's pretty interesting. And then the multimeter is everything that I showed you all at once. The EMF has two versions, advanced and simple. Simple is just a couple bars. And if I were to put it on my watch, spikes, because it's my watch. But yeah, the app is actually pretty interesting, so I'd recommend you go check it out. But the reason that I trust the EMF meter on the phone is because Google phones, like mine, has battery sharing on it. So, you know, you can place one person's phone on top of another one, and you'll share battery, basically. It's like you can charge someone else's phone with your phone. It's really cool. And I didn't know my phone could do that because I never thought to do that, but apparently it can. So because it has magnetic features on it, and like you can wirelessly charge it and everything, and because it has battery sharing, that means that it has the possibility of it using electromagnetic frequency. So we looked it up, and it said that most phones with battery sharing can use electromagnetic frequency to find electricity in the ground or somewhere like that. EMF meters are usually for like construction workers, so they can find if there's like wires in the ground before they start digging, like plumbers, electricians, things like that. You run an EMF meter over the ground, and if it spikes, there's a wire down there. That's mainly what they're for. They just randomly got adapted into ghost hunting equipment, which I mean, yeah, sure, fair enough. So that's the ultimate ghost detector app, and I think it's pretty worth it. Definitely give it a try. Again, it is $3, but that's not bad. My friends and I actually tried the EVP detector, and we actually did catch like a breathing on it, so it does work. EVPs are actually kind of scary. Okay, kiddos, well, I think that's good enough on nerding out about all the ghost stuff. However, I could talk about ghost equipment and like anything involving ghosts for hours. But we're not entirely out of the woods just yet because, of course, I didn't forget our quote of the day. Our quote of the day is, of course, staying on theme, and it is actually from the lovely voice of Ghostface. This quote comes from the very famous Ghostface, and it is from Scream 1 or Scream 1996. And I will play the clip right now.
Who's there? Who's there? I'm calling the
But Ghostface says, you should never say who's there. Don't you watch scary movies? It's a death wish. There's so many lines from Ghostface that I could quote, but I just picked this one because it's one of the lesser known ones. Everybody knows, what's your favorite scary movie? You should never answer the phone. Do you want to play a game? Yada, yada, yada. Everybody knows those ones. But one of the lesser known ones is, you should never say who's there. I have always loved Ghostface. Ever since I started getting into horror movies, I discovered who Ghostface was, and my dad explained to me what kind of horror movie villain he was. And that's awesome, because he's always like, he follows the rules of horror movies. And that is awesome. And he uses that to strategize with what he's doing. I find that really interesting, especially in the first one, where they're always like, they watch a couple movies. He literally said, who said that? I think it was Stu. Stu says, watch a couple movies, take a few notes. And I'm like, see, they're actually following the rules of horror movies. A lot of people make fun of horror movies where they're like, they run upstairs instead of running out the door. So the fact that Ghostface is not only aware of the horror movie rules, he also defies them and uses them to strategize. And I admire that. Not because he's like unaliving people, but because strategy. I also really like how the plot is very like Matrix-y. Not like the movie Matrix, but like Inception. That's what I meant to say. Inception. Like the event, you're watching a movie about the events that occurred, and then in the second one, they make a movie about the events that occurred in the first one. And that is really cool to me. You watch the first movie, then the characters in the second movie watch the first movie, and then the characters in the third movie are aware of this franchise, and it's so cool to me. Anyway, kiddos, that about wraps up today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and back to the announcements. The usual stuff that you know, I'm going to be starting some live streams hopefully soon, because the Renaissance Fair is coming up, so I'm going to be making Lavender's new costume, and I want to live stream my creative process and how I make things, so I'm going to show that to you. The 3 categories of live streams is going to be productivity, creativity, and chat. Productivity streams is like if I ever need to write a script or do some work or something like that, and I want to help other people with their own personal projects. We all come together and we all do our own individual work time, and as long as the stream goes on, you do your own work. So we all get our stuff done together. The creativity stream is mainly going to be for whenever I have props or costumes to make or things like that. If I ever want to live stream a makeup tutorial, but usually I'll make a YouTube video out of it, but we'll see. The creative streams is for costumes and props and things like that, and I can make things with you guys. So there's work stream, there's making things, and then there's chat stream where we can just talk about whatever. It's like this podcast, but more chill and more of a one-on-one conversation. We can just chat, talk about whatever. You can ask my opinions on stuff. You can ask for what's been going on, or we can all go on a nerdy rant together. I don't know. But those are going to be the 3 categories: productivity, creativity, and chat. So keep an eye out for those live streams. I'm going to set some more up, especially within the next month or so. Anyway, announcement stuff over. Thank you, kiddos, so much for watching today's episode of Thinking Like a Taurus, episode number 12. Be sure to keep an eye out for my next video. I don't know what it's going to be, and neither do you, so you're going to find out when it comes out. And make sure to check out my last video. Like I said, was the vlog, the final part of my birthday series, where you get to witness everything that happened instead of me just recapping it. If you get bored waiting for my next YouTube video, you can follow me on all of my social medias: TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter, all at Uni Cosplays. You know what they're for. I'm going to stop telling you. And please make sure to go check out the Discord that my friend made. My friend 10 made a beautiful Discord, and I want it to be one big community of creators, and you can interact with me and get notifications whenever my videos and shorts come out. And be sure to check out the link tree in my bio and also the description of every single video, because that is not only where you can access everything that I just told you about, but also where you can see my Redbubble shop and go buy my merch. More merch designs are going to be coming out very soon. I'm hoping Lavender will get her own merch at some point. Wink, wink. And I think that about does it. So remember, kiddos, drink your water, eat your meals, get some good sleep, and I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Mwah! I love you.